So what does it mean to have an industry partner? So there's a number of different industry partner arrangements that I bumped into, and this is my own personal reflection. Some of this has grown, and some of this might still grow. But one type of way of looking at this is that MOOS-IvP, as an open source autonomy project out of MIT, can be adopted by a robot company. We'll call it Acme Robot Company. And this company might be developing their own platform. In some cases, the platform is the company in the sense that their secret sauce is a unique physical platform, whether it be an underwater vehicle, um, amphibious vehicle or surface vehicle, etc. And their secret sauce is all invested in the hardware, and they need an autonomy system, and they don't really want to spin up a whole autonomy group to do that. So they will adopt the MOOS-IvP code. In some sense, it becomes sort of like an OEM software code base. It's not something that they advertise as being part of their company, but nevertheless, it's part of their code stack, and they might develop their own code on top of it. And in the simplest case, these companies are essentially just doing research. They're getting money either through the government or SBIRs or through venture capital. They haven't sold anything yet, but that's their current state. And there's about 5 or 6 people that we work with in that fall into that category. Another category is when there are companies that are actually selling these things to customers, and we work with some companies that fall into that category. So they're writing their code, they're pulling in the MIT code, they're building their vehicle, and they are delivering a full system to a customer, which includes the boat, which also was developed by the robot company. So that's an interesting category. Another category is rather than Acme Robot Company, it's Acme Autonomy Company. So they are building autonomy software or kits that can make other people's boats autonomous. So they may not be delivering a full autonomous system to a customer, but the customer may have their own boat or have their own relationship with a boat builder, and they're providing an autonomy system and using their boats in that manner. And then another category is perhaps where Acme Autonomy is not working with the end user directly, but actually supporting a prime contractor. And the prime contractor pulls in Acme's code base as part of their system, maybe other technologies, maybe a boat from a boat builder, and they're providing a system to an end user. Right? So um, all of these arrangements are representative of companies that we're currently working with. And in this case here, this is kind of maybe the more mature model. And we're involved with at least 3 companies right now that are delivering what we call program of record or platform of record systems to the Navy. And so it's quite different than the companies that are just building research prototypes and need an autonomy system. But it's interesting to think about all of them. And I think overall, we're probably working with a dozen companies, and there's a few companies that I think we're in the conversations with. And part of the conversation is how we are handling commercial licensing and IP. So it's a very relevant conversation to us. So um, in a situation where a company is developing code and they are developing their own applications and their own behaviors, it's a relatively straightforward process for us, right? Because we have this LGPL and GPL relationship. So they write their own apps, their own behaviors. It's part of the Acme code base. The OEM autonomy or the MOOS-IvP autonomy from MIT doesn't change at all. It's a very clean situation. And for the most part, I think companies that are operating this way don't feel like they need any kind of further commercial license or clarification. In some cases, I could be wrong. In some cases, the companies I think may have very conservative legal team and are still interested in a commercial license anyways, even though we feel like the LGPL and GPL arrangement is sufficient. There are still concerns that sometimes people have, and we're trying to sort through what they may be and try to address those through a commercial license. Where things get a little bit more interesting is when a company does all of the above, but also for whatever reason or another, they need to be able to take one of the apps that are distributed by MIT or the behaviors, and they need to augment it a bit. So now it technically becomes a derivative work. It now technically, if the GPL, if it's under GPL, they're required to release the code, or at least they feel like that's a possibility that they might have to deal with. Sometimes that modification might be something really simple, like an app or a behavior needs to expose another configuration parameter that's already there, but they just would like the ability to configure it, or it can actually change the function of the apps or behavior and become sufficiently better, or it may address a bug. We like to engage with companies so that if it is a bug or if it is a feature that we'd like to work back in the system, we can avoid this situation by just accepting a pull request or a suggestion on how to fix the situation and go back to the situation where they don't need to work with a modified app or modified behavior. But not all companies work that way. Some companies we don't have relationships with, they're working on their own. They don't feel comfortable putting up pull requests. For whatever reason, this situation comes up a few times. So then the question is, do we need a commercial license to address this? And what does that commercial license look like? Right? So going back to this situation here, what does it mean if Acme Code somewhere along the way, or the prime contractor somewhere along the way, is modifying what is ultimately began as something out of the MOOS-IvP stack under a GPL license? What does that mean in terms of their obligation to make those changes available to the public? And to what extent do we at MIT care, right? So if it's something simple like exposing a configuration parameter out of convenience for them, that's really not that big a deal. But if they are making modifications to modules that essentially become now competitors to what's coming out of our lab, then now we basically have a bifurcated project or a bifurcated situation where some people are getting their MOOS-IvP from Acme Autonomy and some people are getting it from MIT. That's not happening yet, but we'd like to be able to be sort of eyes wide open about how to avoid something like that. So that is our where we're at right now. That's a 25-year history, a lot invested to get us here at this point, and we're super happy to be working with folks from industry. And I think our big to-do list on the item right now is to work out what it means to have a commercial license and how to better support the industry for the folks who need that.